Hey guys, it's your coach Greg D here back with another Think About It video, and today I want to talk about watching what you say to yourself. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, sharing this information with you, is I'm reading the book Get Off Your Butt Now by Sean Stephenson. It is a great book. Highly recommend it. By the way, that's B-U-T as in the contraction, not as in your rear end. And what I want to talk about here, and especially with what I've been reading over the last few days, has kind of reminded me of the earliest videos that I made for YouTube, which were talking about limiting beliefs, the power of attitude, visualizations, affirmations. And what Sean talks about in this chapter is how you talk to yourself and the fact that words can either burn you or give you warmth. It's like, the example of, fire. Fire can burn you, or fire can keep you alive by keeping you warm. Words are kind of the same way. I mean, think about that. Words do have power, as much as sometimes we don't like to think that they do. Think of the old saying, "Stick and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me," or anything like that. Really, words have a great deal of power over us and literally can change your destiny in an instant. One sentence can literally make or break a person's entire life, which is really something that's interesting to think about. Literally saying one positive thing to someone, saying something motivational, supportive, one sentence like that can literally change someone's entire life to where they become successful, where they're making a lot of money, where they have a family, where they have a lot of friends, where they have a good job, where they have a nice car, a nice house. Or on the other, side of the spectrum, one negative, demeaning, belittling thing can really take a person from that level of success all the way down to, the pits of hell and despair. So really, words have a great deal of power over us. Now, included in that is our self-talk, because really, we have a knack. I know I'm not alone. We all do it. We all have a knack of letting that inner voice belittle us, kind of, reinforce those insecurities and those excuses, like, "Oh, I know you couldn't do it. Oh, yeah, you're too fat. Oh, I knew that you weren't going to be able to do that. Oh, I know you're going to be too afraid to do that." Whatever the case is. But really think about this for an instance. Think about how would you talk to your best friends or your family or your spouse or anyone close to you? Would you talk to them the way that you talk to yourself, like in your head? And to further that discussion along is, would they stick around if you talk to them like that? More than likely, the answer is nope, not at all. So remember here that recognition is the only way that we can become aware and actually change the behavior to something that benefits us, to make us more successful. So really, like going back to the fire example and using this as an example for your self inner voice, is remember that the words that and the things that we tell ourselves can either burn us or keep us warm and keep us alive. So really, what we need to do here, and I know I've said it a bajillion times in other videos, is we need to be our own best advocate, because really no one else is going to do it for you. Everyone and anyone can be motivational, can be supportive, but when it comes down to it, you need to get off your butt, the B-U-T. You need to get off of your excuse, your insecurity. You are the only one who can do something about that excuse, about that insecurity. So really what I want you to do here, and this is my challenge, is to think about how you talk to yourself over the course of a day. Write them down in a journal if you have to, but think about how you talk to yourself during the day. Write it down and then go back to it and say, would I have my best friends still around, or my family, anyone close to me, if I talk to myself in the way that, I did over that course of that day. Because once we, as hard as it is and as painful as it can be, once we get those thoughts, out in front of us and making ourselves aware and obvious of what we're saying to ourselves, only then is when we can change it. Only then is when we can make a difference. Only then is when we can become more successful and create a better destiny for ourselves, create a better future for ourselves, like I was discussing earlier. So I want you to think about how you are talking to yourself. Become your own best advocate. Become your own best friend. And that, a lot of times, will spur on the change that you need from getting to point A to point B. So I want you to think about it. Like I said, write down. That's the challenge. Write down your thoughts for the day, and then go back the next day or a few days later and see how it is that you are talking to yourself, and then go back and change them. Change those thoughts into positive ones, more affirming ones. How can I change this thought into a more empowering one? So I want you to think about that. That's the challenge. Become your own best advocate. Become your own best friend, because it will lead you to progress. It will lead you to success. And really, you are the only person that can do this for yourself. So with that, guys, that is today's video. Like I always say, where there's a will, there's a way, and I will see you guys soon.